Hello and welcome to this Pincha/headstand prep video. If your shoulders move, you do. So you don't have to do any inversions after this. This might be just a really nice practice to do when you don't have much time. You can use a weight, but you might not want to wait. You could also use a block, that's fine. So we'll start seated wherever's good, length through the lower back. And just as we've been doing for a while now, shoulders forward and back. So rolling the heads of your shoulders forward and then the heads of your shoulders back. See if you can press down as well through your armpits while you're doing this. That will help release the neck. And you can make this small or big, but ideally, can you move your fingers, your wrists, your forearms? So you're getting full range wherever you want to be. We'll bring the shoulders up to the ears, fingertips lift and back down. So as we bring the shoulders up to the ears, can you really press down through your hips, through your lower back, lengthening, so we're tractioning the spine. So we know how it feels to be able to move in all different places very expansively. Then we're going to go side to side, so bringing the shoulders across, little reach, and just notice how it feels to bring the shoulder in front of you to move it that way. Be cautious to move it kind of behind your head. That doesn't feel as good, but it's there if you want it to. And then we do what we've lovingly started to refer to in the personal classes as shit canoeing, because clearly I don't know how to canoe. If this is how I feel, you do it, but moving the shoulders, moving from above the waist, making some expansive space. And then slowing down to a complete stop, resting sides of the arms and the knees, wiggling the fingers, relaxing the face. We'll take the legs out in front of us and we'll sort our hair out. So we can begin by just moving through the backs of the legs, the back line of the body. So what you've got to do is good toes, naughty toes, so pointy toes and flexy feet. You don't have to do any more than this, but if you want to, we drop the shoulders, drop the chin, then lift the chin, roll the shoulders back. So we want to drop the chin as we point and lift the chin as we flex. Flex feet and a drop chin. There's a lot going on there. So you might want to make this bigger as your body loosens off. You're more than welcome to bend your knees at any point. I'm going to turn this into a little roll down. So we're going to bend our knees, roll all the way to the floor. And then keeping the knees bent, we start to roll up, sitting tall. So we roll through a curved spine, shoulders and head to ground, then reaching up. Now if this is too much for you to come all the way up and down, what you can do is come to the floor and come as far up as you can. So maybe that's halfway and back down. You can also pop your feet underneath maybe the edges of your sofa, that helps. Or if you've got a friend handy that can sit on your legs, do so. Now we reach forward, so we're flexing the feet to roll all the way down. Then see if you can pull yourself up, roll all the way up, point the feet and reach beyond. Now you do not have to come belly to thigh with a straight leg like I'm doing, and you don't have to lift your arms overhead either. You do your best, whatever that is. Bent knees is absolutely fine, and keeping the arms to just above the shoulders is fine too. Sorry, just above the chest when you're lying on the floor. So reaching as far as you'd like, maybe every time going a little bit further. So start small. And let your body open. So we come to sit. Give your shoulders a little roll. Forward and back. Then we're going to take forearm behind the knee and we squeeze the knee on the arm. Active through the heels, really waking up the hamstring. Little pulses, little squeezes. Then we're going to come up and down. So you don't have to straighten your leg, but if you can, it is there and it's available to you. Then we squeeze and hold the arm behind the leg, super active. Breaky arm strength with your knee. Then we lift it up and we press the back of the knee into the arm. So it doesn't have to straighten as long as you're pressing. So it's the opposite of the squeezing. You can hold onto your foot here if this is cool. You can take the back of the leg. We just take a few months to stretch and hold. I'll be checking myself out in the mirror, clearly. Wiggle the toes and let it go. Give yourself a little rub. You notice that maybe one leg's a different colour. So we're going to squeeze the back of the knee around the arm. Super active, super strong. Then we'll lift and lower. Oh no, we're squeezing. I've missed that part. You feel free to lift and lower if you want. And then we press the back of the knee into the arm for the opposition. Holding onto the foot, holding onto the leg if that's you. Wiggle your toes. Then drop it to the floor. Nice. We're going to come onto our backs here. You can bring your weight with you or you block if you want to. We'll lift our shoulders, our hands above our shoulders and bring the middle of the ribs to the floor. So really feel like you're pressing the middle of the ribs to the floor. Now step one with the feet on the floor is to simply take the arms as high up as you can without taking the ribs off and then bring them back in line with your thighs. So as you can see, I don't take my arms all the way overhead because that means my ribs will pop. And it has taken me a long time to get my arms to this position. I never used to take them this far back because I very much start to arch my back. So start small, build it up. It's harder than it looks. Then little adjustments if you need them. So we're going to add on this time. So if that was enough for you, cool. If not, as you come up, we lift head and shoulders off the floor, but keep the ribs closed as you come back down and take your arm overhead. That's the challenge. Nice. Well done. I'm saying nice and well done to myself as well because I'm pretty impressed with my control for now. So this is where if you're holding a block, really squeeze the block. If you have a weight, just be mindful that you didn't pick 10 kilos. I have done this before with 10 kilos. Ow. Smaller is fine. So lift your knees up when you're ready, lift your arms above your head. If you want to add on, if you are happy with what you were doing before, if that was enough for you, then keep going with that. But if you want to add on, knees above hips, and as you can see, my knees are slightly away from the top of my hips to engage my low belly a little bit more. We'll take a couple more. And it's hard, but so are you. So you just work on what you're working on today. If this was too much, don't worry about it, yeah? Then stretch your legs, give yourself a big hug, a little wriggle. That's it. As long as the middle of the ribs were connected, you're cool. From here, heels hip width distance, palms alongside you, and lift the hips up and down. Rather than thinking about rolling every vertebra individually, can you keep the connection between the rib and hip bone? So we try not to pop the ribs too much as we come down. We really keep control in the core. Very nice. Few more little pulses, active bums. Staying at the top. Maybe lifting right heel, then left. So alternate heels. Keeping bum pushing off, active through feet. Both heels at the same time. Hips up, then heels down. Keep the height of the hips. Strong and hold. And then we come on down, letting everything move as it wished to. Wiggle as it wished to. Bring your knees in, give them a little roll. Stretching the feet and then coming on up through to your tabletop position. So I'm saying hello to one of the girls that's just walked in. If it looks like I'm chatting to myself, I'm pretty much chatting to myself now though. So left hand to the ground, right arm reaches up, and we'll just take a little twist in this stretch. So right arm comes underneath you. Left hand can stay in the ground, it can go over your head. You can lift the opposing leg if you want to. And then coming down step by step, piece by piece. Just finding a little twist and opening for your shoulders and some balance as well. So start to get used to having our face and our arms closer to the ground than we usually would do, which is a big way of helping to break the psychology in the pose where we worry that our face is going to touch the floor. We get used to it. These are great preparations for that. And opening back up. When you're ready, forearms, elbows to the floor. Pull your elbows back. So we're pulling our elbows back. We feel the muscles underneath the armpits. The lats and the serratus anterior really activate. So pull to bring your head up. You can see I'm almost bringing my body through and then release back down. This pull action is super important when we're upside down, particularly as we start to work with taking the hands off of the back of the head if you're working on your forearm stance. Nice, so keep pulling. Maybe inhale as you pull up as well, fill your belly. Time the breath appropriately. We stay pulling back, strong. Armpits to the floor, head can move. Stay there or take the fingers behind you and see if you can lift the middle of the ribs. Maybe flex the wrists. If that's comfy, then we come on down. Forehead on your hands, give yourself a wriggle. Flopping onto the floor, and as I said, you can do as much or as little of this if you want to, and I'm saying this now because you're about to do an elbow plank. So, mentally and spiritually prepare yourself for that. And then put your elbows underneath your shoulders, toes turn under. Now we're bringing the shoulders forward because we're pulling back again, that motion. Maybe you take your hands off. I'm doing it for dramatic effect. We're going to point one foot. So I'm not lifting my leg up. I'm literally just pointing it to activate the muscles in the legs. Put that foot down round about now. And I'm going to point the other foot. So I'm still pulling and I'm pointing. So everything's super strong, super active. And we put the toes down and we're going to stay. And we're going to stay. I don't think we're going to stay too long, but we're going to stay. Head can move, face can move. We're gone. I was done. Bum to heels or any other stretch position that you feel would be nice for you. Let the shoulders move around. So we're going to come into our head goes up, head goes down preparation. So remember, we got that line of energy running from the thumb to the inside of the arm all the way to the underside of the ribs. We're going to push the armpits down. That activates the muscles that we need. Now we start with the knees down, put the head on the floor. I'm just going to do head goes up, head goes down. So pushing the head off, using the power of that push in the shoulders. You can stay like that, or you can lift your knees off, but it's not chin goes up, chin goes down, because you're not working anything of use at all there. So knees up or knees down. Maybe you start with your knees down, have a little roll and move. And then eventually lifting the knees up. Maybe walking your feet a little bit closer to you. Head goes up, head goes down. There is a tendency to move the chin a little bit, but as long as it's not guiding the movement. Then staying with the head off. Finding your balance, coming down. Giving your shoulders forward, shoulders back, little swishes as you wish. Moving your face, check there's no tension in your face. So, you're going to try whatever you want to try. I'm going to go with a headstand, so you can put palms flat, but if you are still working with your hands in a basket, do so. Pull your shoulders back like I demonstrated, then bring one heel in, the other heel in. Your butt is above your shoulders, it's higher up than you think it is. So you can just mess with that today, or come on up, just keep pushing your armpits away from your face. Now when you lift your legs, mine are in a slightly diagonal V. This is because often when we try to lift them straight up, we go all the way over because we haven't found the brakes yet, we haven't found the back yet. So I would suggest lifting up diagonally. That engage your core, you're less likely to go all the way over. Now you can keep working with that if you want to. You're on your forearms, lift one then the other, or even just take some breaths. If you're working on this and you're quite happy with it, we bring our chest through a little bit more. So it's been a while since I bought my chest so far, checking myself out in the mirror. So of course, work on what you're working on. I'm just having a little bounce around now because it's fun, and I did. If you've got an ascent that's really good, work on finding a descent with control. Oh, wobble, wobble. But yeah, keep working on what you're doing. It's all cool. Keep the ribs in, keep strong. So you can close your practice here. You can go back to any part of what we've just done and keep practicing, but the most important part is you press your armpits back. You engage the middle of you, and that you have fun. So I'm having to mess around until the end of the video. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Any questions, let me know. Any pictures that you've got, if you want me to look at them, I'll be happy to help. Love you loads.